Yeah, you do that.
Oh, magic.
If you've ever found yourself scratching your head wondering what magic even is and if it's real, you're not alone. Embracing the idea of magic requires a leap of faith, a step into the unknown that goes beyond the tangible and testable, and that's where things get tricky. The concept of magical thinking often finds itself on the receiving end of criticism, painted as a tendency to draw connections where none exist and to find meaning in the meaningless, as though the universe is conspiring to send us coded messages. And honestly, that's pretty spot on. This magical way of thinking, where seemingly random stuff impacts other seemingly random stuff, is more specifically based on a system of correspondences. According to this playbook, everything in the universe is texting each other behind our backs. Colors, numbers, rocks, Starbucks orders, you name it. They're all believed to be secretly linked in a cosmic group chat from the mundane to the celestial. This notion isn't just a staple in the pantry of Western witchcraft, paganism, Eastern philosophies, New Age spirituality, and the big world religions alike. It's the whole kitchen. In New Age spirituality, the concept of correspondences extends to the belief in the interconnectedness of all things, where crystals, tarot cards, and astrological signs are all seen as tools to understand and influence the broader cosmic forces at play in one's life. Each crystal or tarot card carries specific energies and meanings, creating a language through which practitioners can communicate with the universe. In Christianity, correspondences can be seen in the symbolism of the sacraments, the use of specific colors in liturgical vestments for different seasons of the church year, and the veneration of saints, each associated with particular virtues, professions, or causes. Back in the day, before the Enlightenment Era, also known as the Age of Reason, magic, religion, and what we now call science were all considered to be one and the same thing. Things we can now explain away with data and experiments were once legitimate mysteries that no one knew the answers to. Like, why do people get sick? Why does it rain? And what's the deal with those twinkling little stars anyway? Just like how a near-death experience, say, being on a plane that's suddenly in a free fall, can turn even the staunchest skeptic into a fervent prayer enthusiast, the lack of a better explanation once left a void that got filled with rituals aimed at pleading with the powers that be. The structured practice of magic over time is part of the same cultural evolution that brought us from banging rocks together to sending tweets or whatever they're called these days. Millennia of ideas about unseen forces have bubbled up from countless individuals, each with their own take on the world. These methods get passed down, tweaked, and solidified generation after generation. But let's fast forward to the present, where many mysteries of old now have rational scientific explanations. Now we know that people get sick because of viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, and toxins, not because they were cursed by a witch or possessed by a demon. The germ theory of disease, which points the finger at microorganisms, was championed by the likes of Louis Pasteur in France during the 1860s and Robert Koch in Germany during the 1870s. Pasteur's experiments debunked spontaneous generation, and Koch's postulates linked specific microbes to specific diseases. We've also figured out that rain is part of Earth's water cycle, not the result of a celestial being's mood swings. In the 1600s, Pierre Perrault and Edmé Mariotte in France started piecing this together, but it wasn't until John Dalton came along in the 1800s with his quantitative studies that this process really clicked into place. And what are those mysterious, beautiful, sparkling, twinkling stars?
I always thought they were balls of gas burning billions of miles away.
Well, Pumbaa was right. Stars are massive balls of gas undergoing nuclear fusion. Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin cracked this in the early 1920s, and Hans Bethe later explained the fusion process in the 1930s. Yet, despite all of our scientific advancements, there are still mysteries we haven't solved. Consciousness, for example. What is it? How does it emerge from the brain's physical processes? And what happens to our consciousnesses when we die? These unanswered questions leave room for alternative explanations, including those involving magic or the supernatural. Consciousness serves as a fascinating bridge between the physical reality of biological processes and the subjective experience of being alive. Its subjective nature means that personal experience plays a huge role in our understanding of it. Science aims for objectivity and reproducibility, but the inner experiences of consciousness are deeply personal and resist easy quantification or study. Magical thinking and spirituality offer frameworks for acknowledging and exploring these personal experiences, providing a form of validation that science sometimes struggles to offer. At its core, magic is about believing that individual thoughts, intentions, and will can manifest changes not just within one's psyche, but also in the external physical and spiritual world. This belief implies a connected universe where consciousness acts as a bridge between material reality and a subtler spiritual dimension. Through rituals, symbols, and intentions, practitioners of magic aim to direct and shape this energy to achieve specific outcomes. If our own thoughts and intentions can wield power in another spiritual realm, it naturally follows that others' thoughts might have similar influence. This reciprocity underpins the idea of a shared psychic or spiritual sphere, where human consciousnesses can interact with other conscious entities. It also opens the door to spiritual beings like angels, demons, gods, or spirits, whose existence and actions unfold within this non-physical dimension. Freed from the constraints of matter, these beings are often attributed significant power and believed to influence the world, the physical world, through rituals, prayers, or other forms of magical or spiritual interaction. So, in conclusion, what is magic and is it real? I'll simply repeat what I said at the start of the video. It's connecting unconnected dots and seeing signs in random coincidences as if the universe is dropping us secret messages. It's nothing more and nothing less, and it's real in the sense that most humans tend to get a little superstitious and do some magical thinking now and then, especially when things get rough and we can't find any rational solutions.